Man, Drive Faster, the Corner Store podcast about to start, and I'm not missing grown folks argue after I just lost by 2.
Linda, turn that stove down. The Corner Store podcast coming on, and this kitchen about to get louder than the grease.
Earl, pull that chair closer. The Corner Store podcast coming on, and this porch about to turn into headquarters.
Yeah.
Corner Store podcast. Real talk, real people, real community.
Yeah.
May 24th, 8 p.m. We live.
Yeah. Meet us at the corner where the real ones speak. Good people, good vibes, new heat this week. New castmates stepping in, fresh voice, fresh flow. Tune in, May 24th, 8 p.m. Let's go. Yeah.
Real talk, real life, we don't run from the truth.
Community on the mic.
Every elder,
Every youth, from the headlines to the house, we gon' open that door. Pull up, tap in at the Corner Store.
DeAndre and Whitney bringing new.
Welcome to the Corner Store podcast, where real conversations meet real opinions. Before we get started, we want to remind our viewers and listeners that all opinions shared tonight are those of the host and guest in their personal capacity. They do not reflect the views, positions, or policies of their employers, affiliated organizations, businesses, or any other entities they may be connected to. Everything discussed on this platform is strictly opinion-based and intended for conversation, community engagement, and open dialogue. With that being said, sit back, relax, and stay engaged as we take you inside the Corner Store. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and invite somebody into the conversation. The door is open. Let's get into it.
Hey, welcome to the Corner Store. Happy Sunday, all that good stuff. We have another great episode coming up, and man, we have some surprises. It's about to 10x our show, hopefully, and hopefully we can add value to those who listen to us weekly. But before we get started, let me bring some of my good brothers on to the Corner Store. We have the man himself, Slick.
What up?
King, what up? What's good, my guys?
What's going on? We sound real official right now. And that intro.
Oh, dude, man, you see how we updated the studio? You know, got announcers now, a disclaimer. I had to put that disclaimer in there from our QA department, QC department, the one that Roderick's over. So, you know, he be real serious about that piece of it.
And Slick went put on glasses because we sound so official.
Yeah, man. Can't see.
Oh, I know this is about to be a good show. He finna hear with his glasses.
Yeah, can't see, bro.
Hey, man, we have some great additions that should elevate the show. I know we've been talking about adding some estrogen to the show and breaking up the boys club. But, man, we have two bright young individuals that are going to come to the show and bring something different to our audience and to our brand. What do y'all feel about adding women to the show?
I don't care, man. Opinions, bro. You know, just be ready to defend your opinion. That's all.
I love it. And what about you, Micah?
I think we need a woman's touch. I always add a little bit more to the substance. So I think that'll be good.
I agree. A substance and context. But with that being said, we'd like to introduce to you our new special correspondent, Miss DeAndrea Youngblood.
Hello.
And the fashionista herself, Miss Whitney B. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
No problem at all. Thank you guys for joining us. I know we've been searching around and trying to get some more guests and correspondents and something to break up the echo chamber of the guys. But we are glad that you're here with us. Before we get started, let the people know just a little bit about what you're going to bring to the show. And DeAndrea, we'll start with you first.
Hello, everyone. My name is DeAndrea.
feel free to call me D. Glenville native, born and raised, graduated Tappan County High School 2007, went on to Payne College in Augusta, Georgia, graduated there 2011, and I am now back home, settled, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. I'm full of questions, always looking for answers, and I do enjoy healthy debates. I don't like to get feelings involved too much. I like to stick to the facts, and I think that can keep us grounded for the most part. But yeah, I'm excited to join the cast, bring my womanly touch, and yeah, we'll see how this goes, I guess. But I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. And Miss Whitney B, looking so amazing, man. I told Michael we got to step our game up, man. You know, they come on the very first time and they look the part. That's how you know we got a locker room over here. Now we got to clean up our act, get the socks off the floor at the corner store. But let us know about you, Whitney.
Yeah, no, seriously, because it stinks in here. I'm just, I'm just joking.
Hold on.
No booing.
So, like DeAndrea, I am a Glenville native. I graduated from Tappan County High School as well. I joined the Army straight out of high school. I've been traveling all around, got into a career in cybersecurity. So now I'm just ready to come back home and bring forth some, just dress it up a little bit in here in the Corner Store podcast. I hope to not only bring education and intelligence, but also some fun and obviously some fashion because I like style. I'm not as much of a challenging debater as DeAndrea. However, I do like to add substance to conversation. So I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a blast. I'm just really expecting this to really be an engaging conversation. And I hope that we allow ourselves to bring y'all even more numbers, like enhance your views and just eventually monetize this thing.
Oh yeah, we're all about that monetization. So I really appreciate all of the feedback and all of the shares and all that. And if you're out there watching right now, let us know where you're watching from. And then we want to say thank you first and foremost. We're almost at 1 million views. And after this week, I think we'll hit 1 million views, especially with the upgrade to the show. But be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook as well. And then we're soon to be on Spotify once we transition all of the videos to audio. So now let's get to the show, man. We have some interesting topics tonight. So we've already met our special guest, Glenville Media Headlines and Public Opinion. Then we're going to get into Micah's campaign, as well as the current buzz with the NAACP calling for athletes to boycott Southern schools, overdue property taxes and tax sale prevention, and I know this one may get a little interesting, red pill, blue pill debate, truth versus comfort. So earlier this week, in our group chat, this screenshot was dropped in the group chat. And if you read the headlines, it's a little misleading, as if the race is already over. There was no Democratic opponent. And now Brad Anderson is the new District 157 state representative. We all know that's not true, but those who may not know and follow politics closely could cause some dilution in when it's time to vote in November. But I want to bring Micah to the stage. And Mike, let us know how you felt when you first saw this article.
When I first saw it, it kind of caught me off guard. And then my immediate reaction was laughing because I was like, okay, they think it's over. And then I thought about it a little bit, and I was like, man, this could be misleading to people who really don't keep up, or misleading to people who are trying to. It's their first cycle. They're going through the election cycle for the first time. They have a reason to vote down ballot for a state representative. So it could be misleading to them to make them think the race is over. But I'm still in the race. I'm still in the fight. We got to November, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, my initial reaction was I was a little taken aback by just the blatant, I'll say, mistake in the news, in that headline.
Yeah, and DeAndre, you're there back at home and you're on the ground. And when you saw this, I kind of felt your reaction, but what was your take on it when you first saw it?
Of course, I feel it's misleading. Even if there wasn't any malicious intent, I'm just a little taken aback by the lack of just like what's the process, I guess. You try to give people grace. Well, me personally, I do try to give people grace and not just run to like the worst thought ever, but I'm just a little confused about the editing process. Does this not get looked over by more than one set of eyes? And I just don't want anybody to downplay the gravity of the situation. I do see comments online, like in the soapbox or whatever. I don't like to engage in those conversations. It's just too much. But I think people have the right to be upset about this, and it does feel like a blatant oversight because what's the process? A lot of people are busy, but this is your job. And so this is like, you have a responsibility to deliver the news in an unbiased, professional way. So yeah, lots of questions, and don't want to make assumptions, but yeah.
Yeah, and there seems to be some history there with this same type of mistake, and there's a track record that is compiling over time to where people are going back to almost 30 years ago to their experience with the same type of things. And Slick, you're one that always talk about the skepticism of reading past the headlines. Can you educate the audience on why it's so important to read past the headlines to get to the substance of the context so we can form a more educated or more informed opinion when it comes to headlines?
Well, the way social media is set up right now is that most readers, most people that produce media want to get your attention. So they put, headlines out there to intentionally, gather your attention. And I don't think it was a mistake. It's a pattern being shown over the years. I've seen some of the comments that people said that it was a late night, last minute. This ain't the first time. You're supposed to be a professional. That headline is pretty. We ain't talking about the second page, third page. We talking about the headline, and I think it was intentional. And they can say what they want to say. It was misleading, and to me, it shows you the problem with media today. And you have to get past the headlines, read the substance, understand what you're reading, and be able to look through the myths. So that's my opinion on it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And Whitney, man, you are a blossoming social media presence and influencer, getting ready to start a boutique and business there in Glenville. How important is it for outlets to become more modernized so that other people, to me, there's a gap between the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, the millennials, and the younger generation when it comes to communication, exposure, and awareness out there? How important is it to be more modernized, to take advantage of technology and the resources out there to get the story corrected immediately? So some people might have saw it in the paper this week and might not even look at a paper again until a month later.
Exactly. I think that it is extremely important to modernize all of the processes because, as everyone else has said, first off, there should be some form of a SOP, standard operating procedure, some types of quality control, especially if this has been a reoccurring accident. As DeAndrea stated, we do always want to offer people grace, but at some point you also have to hold them accountable, because I feel like without accountability, people are going to continue to do the same thing. That seemed to be propaganda of some sort. I don't know her intention. However, if it's going to take a week like you stated, someone who read that headline last week was probably trusting our local newspaper to properly inform them. So if you are going to quickly misinform someone, then there needs to be something that stands so that you can rapidly go back and properly inform the masses. I think that, Glenville is such a small community, and we are a little more behind than some of the bigger cities. I think that this should be a learning lesson so that we are able to reach the younger generation, or even able to properly inform and educate everyone else, even the older generation, because everybody depends on media. That's why they use the media, the newspapers, now social media. I think that they should probably look into maybe hiring someone who may be a little more social media savvy, because you don't want people out here trusting you and your word, and maybe you're taking advantage of that trust, or you're just being frivolous with it.
Good stuff. Great feedback. Great feedback. See why we have y'all on the show, man. Y'all add so much value to the show. And I just put up a poll. So if you're in the chat, we're going to have you guys be interactive with us now. So when you see a headline, do you usually read the full story? Type 1 for always, 2 for sometimes, 3 for rarely, and 4 for I react to the headline first. So, of course, the headline is the hook to get you hooked in. But do you read past that headline?
I don't think people do.
Read the headline.
I think people may say they read past it, but most people don't.
You can tell people don't read past like the first page of stuff. How many people are reading books these days, let alone a few sentences of a paragraph?
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So, man, great segment. We're going to move on with the show. Man, it's already 8:24. We almost halfway through the show already. See, y'all added to the quality control already.
Quick.
But, Micah, we got to give you your shine, my brother, because they try to overlook you in the paper. And we wanted to take this moment to have a shameless plug for House District 157. And give you the floor on what people can expect from you if you win. No, scratch that. When you win.
Yeah, well, hey, man, first and foremost, like as it says on the screen, I'm still in the race. We saw the headline. I saw a lot of reaction to it, but we need to turn that reaction into action. So here's what I need from y'all. Go to votega157.com. Sign up to donate, sign up to volunteer. We need door knockers. We need phone bankers. We need all the things that make campaigns run. And of course, we need donations, and you can get all of that on the website. I got 2 different fundraisers going on. I got Puffs and Stuffs and Politics. So me and my niece Destiny, we are partnered on Puffs and Stuff. So we have a unique flavor. It's called Micah's Favorite. So you can buy that. Those proceeds go to the campaign. And I also have a t-shirt campaign going on as well. All that is linked on my website. You can check it out. What you can expect if I win? You can expect a fighter. You can expect somebody who's going to stand up for House District 157, not just somebody who is going to be another, go along to get along politician, not somebody who's going to sell out to anything or anybody. And you're going to have somebody that's connected to the everyday issues that we face, right? It's hard to have an affordability conversation when you can always afford everything. I can't. It's hard to talk about the school system when your kids don't go to public school. Mine does. Mine do, because I have multiple. Mm-hmm. So I'm connected to the issues in an intimate way, and it affects my everyday life. So when I make decisions, I'm not just going to be thinking about, all right, does this agree with a party line, or does this go along with some coalitions or some partnerships that I made? No. How is this going to impact the people of House District 157 and make their lives easier and make their lives better? We don't just need a voice. We need a voice that's going to get results. We need results. We deserve results. We deserve to be represented properly, and we deserve to, the promise of America, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But now it feels like we don't have control of our lives. It feels like our liberties are being taken away. And it feels like the pursuit of happiness is just an endless cycle of disappointment. It's time for that to be over. So when you vote for me, that's what you're getting. You're getting the end of all that. You're getting hope. You're getting the promise of a better future. and we're gonna get results at the end of the day.
Bringing the house down. So with that being said, I have another poll for you there in the audience. Let me see if we can show it. All right, so it's not allowing me to show the poll, but I can tell you guys what it is. So what matters most when choosing a local candidate? Put 1 if it's the track record, 2 if it's a community connection, 3 if policy position matters, 4 trust and character. So once again, 1 for track record, 2 for community connection, 3 for policy position, 4 trust and character. All right. So moving on with the show. Next segment, man, this is hot to try, and man, I know my brother has some good insight on this, but I would love to hear what the ladies think also, being that we all have kids that participate in sports, and DeAndrea, I'm sure your beautiful princess is going to participate in sports one day as well. But NAACP called for athletes to boycott schools in the South. Slick, I know you had some strong opinions in the group chat on this one, but now is your chance to let the audience know how you feel about the NAACP calling for the young men to boycott or pick other schools.
I just think it's an unfair act. Some of these kids are in position to get NIL deals and opportunities to go to school that are life-changing. And they're asking these kids to give up that opportunity, and not even talking about the money. People are saying, well, just go out to California and go to school. Well, who's going to pay for the parents traveling back and forth? I'm pretty, I'm financially pretty set, and it was challenging in getting my family out to Louisiana. You're talking about 6 people, hotels, sometimes airplanes, and you're asking these kids to leave maybe 2-hour commute from their hometown to a school out there in the North or West Coast. And, that's things that people are not even accounting for. They putting this pressure on these kids and saying, hey, we need your power. We need you, to not go to these schools. Well, Georgia's paying some of these kids $2 million. Who's going to replace that? And then you're going to tell a 19-year-old, well, I want you to look past that. I want you to look for the future. I mean, that's a hard ask. You know what I'm saying? That's a hard ask. And this happened before when they did the HBCUs. Remember the push a few years ago when we were asking everybody to go to HBCUs, and some folks did that. And then, for example, what's his name? The rapper, his son went to a HBCU, got hurt, and they didn't have the facilities to take care of it. And he put his son back 2 years. So when you're asking these families to do this type of stuff, I mean, that's a big ask. And to me, that's unfair to put that on a 19-year-old, in my opinion.
Yeah. To me, I see it both ways. I'll be devil's advocate, the opposite side of that. So is it more important to take a chance at a short-term reward when it could disappear in the long term based on voters' rights acts being taken away? And with this administration not in favor of NILs, especially in the South. So do we protect it in the short term or protect it in the long term? And Brittany, I keep doing it. Whitney. It's the B on the end that gets me. But Whitney, what say you? You just had a young man to graduate, and if he were to be offered a scholarship in the South to one of the top schools, how would you feel about that?
To be honest, as a parent who was once a single parent, I'm probably in the middle. I see both sides of it. I recognize that the SEC and the ACC both are, they house pretty big powerhouse programs where our African American athletes, are the central part of those programs. So I see the bigger picture. I understand that the rezoning for voting and all that, and how it is affecting our country and affecting, everything that we have fought, well, all of our ancestors have fought for thus far. So I would definitely be honored, and I would admire my son if he felt the need to put the community on his back and to go against it. However, I can't say that I would push him to do so because, as Slick said, that is a large ask of a young athlete. I know I put a lot of money and time into high school sports. Well, starting when he was 6 years old. So for him to make it to the point that he has been trying to make it to forever, and all of his hard work and dedication, and then to ask him to I guess sabotage it, for lack of a better words, or sacrifice it for the community, because I'm not even sure how this is actually going to affect the lawmakers. Like the actual colleges don't have anything to do with making the laws, but I realize that we need resistors and engagers because that's how any change has ever happened in terms of our people. But although I would love for him to want to do that, I can't say that I would enforce him to do that. I can't say that. And I'm Black Power all day long, but I've just watched how hard he has worked. So that is a very huge ask of a child.
I feel like there's other strategies that we gotta try to employ. And one big thing that a lot of people, especially when it comes to voter suppression and voter rights, we never really voted at our full power anyway.
That was my other thing. Like, our people are not fully voting anyway. Like, as much as, we're trying to combat that and counteract it and encourage them to, but who am I to tell my 18-year-old son, okay, yeah, you be the poster child for this? I don't think I would do that. And that's just me being honest. I don't think I would.
Yeah, and to me, in our group chat, we talk about how Muhammad Ali did it, Kareem did it, Jim Brown did it. I feel like the kids aren't as politically aware or engaged as they were during the Civil Rights Act era, because they formed coalition across the pros to college and they boycotted.
And I talked to you about this. I think that's a different fight, from what they were fighting for in the 60s and what we're fighting for right now. People in the 60s could not go vote, or they had to pay a poll tax. You can go vote. You know what I'm saying?
Now.
Your vote has not been taken. You know what I'm saying?
But it's been diluted.
I don't think that we're heading that way. Where as an African American, are not going to be able to vote. I don't believe that.
You're gonna be able to vote, but it's gonna be so diluted that it's not gonna matter. That's the problem.
So we can have a discussion about dilution. But to me, we can have just because you look like me don't mean that you representing what I want. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that we are going about it at the wrong way of just basically drawing districts based on race. I think that we need to look at representation based off of how did this district vote, and then go from that. Now I don't get me wrong. Saying that does not mean that I agree with what the current administration is doing with gerrymandering when they're cracking and packing. I don't agree with that at all. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be a law against gerrymandering. So let's get that straight before, some people only defense is, well, if you don't agree with this, then you agree with the current administration. That is not correct either. But I truly believe that, as a 20-year vet, I just think that I have more trust in the people that I fought with and the people that I deal with on a daily basis. We're never going to go back to where a black man cannot vote. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, even with you saying that, even what you're saying, that there is a vast majority of the military that are conservative and voted for this administration. This administration is redistricting, packing and cracking. The people you fought beside and the people you fought with are in agreement with what this.
And you did hear me say that I don't agree with the current administration when they're doing the cracking and packing. I think it should be steps in place to prevent gerrymandering. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what makes it
rights that they are now trying to strip.
Go ahead. Right, but that's what makes it confusing. Is you said you trust the people you fought with, unless I misheard it.
And no, I said I did 20 years, and I trust the people that I associate with. That we're never gonna go back to that particular island that you think that we're heading. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that is going to happen. Where as a black man, I am not going to be able to go and vote. I just voted last week. 10 minutes.
To me, the thing we're missing the gap is, we're all going to be able to vote, but does that vote hold the same weight as it did before they started redistricting?
I just want to put some numbers out here. Let's just think, and this is just for us all to just ponder on. Georgia is about to be on its third round of redistricting. And this is supposed to happen every 10 years. There is legislation in place for this that's supposed to make it legal. Georgia is headed on its third round within 10 years. It's supposed to happen every 10 years in accordance with the census. It is 2026. Kemp just called for Georgia. Kemp just called for a special session or whatever next month, a few weeks. And it's already been done twice before.
To go in effect in 28, correct?
Yes, but still, they don't have that process is supposed to be done every 10 years. He's calling again for it, like, already.
So what is the material change in his eyes? Why is he calling? I mean, outside of his own personal desires.
Because the Constitution, what the Supreme Court ruled, every state is looking at their districts that were drawn up by race. And we gave them basically an opportunity to go back and look at every district that was particularly drawn up by race. If you look at the map in Georgia and you look and see where the black districts are, I don't live in one of those. You don't live in one of those, D. Micah, you don't live in one of those.
And it means?
What it means that you're talking about a representative that don't even represent you.
But those districts weren't drawn specifically in Georgia. They weren't drawn. That's just where the black people happen to be.
In the higher populated area.
That district was not drawn particularly for that particular area, for that representation.
It's all black people. I mean, it's mostly black people there, so it's quite naturally going to be.
That's a more densely populated area. And another thing that Kemp is trying to do or has done, he's signed into legislation that might still take place in 2028. Doesn't matter. It's still happening, or he's trying to make it happen, where the ballot is going to be nonpartisan. Like he's doing all these things, and we can't sit here and say, "Oh, that's not going to affect us." Yes,
well,
it does.
If them taking the labels off your politician, then you need to do a lot more research on your own.
As a people, we know these things. However, it's just like little things here and there. They just keep taking bit by bit, and before you know it, there'll be a poll tax again. I'm just thinking that extreme because what's the purpose? What are all these things really supposed to do?
Back to what you said. You said a line earlier, Roger, where you said people like the line shouldn't be drawn based on race, but then you said it should be drawn. And I agree with that. I don't like gerrymandering. I think if you draw lines, just draw it based to try to make the population even. Don't even look at how they voted in the past. Just make the population even across the district.
I'll go with that. What I'm telling you is that they're playing a long game. They've been playing a long game. We've been playing a short game. We've been playing the short game as in I need a black district. And what they did was use the rules that we've been complaining about, and then they turned around and used them against us. If you go back and look at Louisiana, I think they did that. They drew that district on purpose. That district went from Baton Rouge all the way down to almost New Orleans. That's a 250-mile radius. And the way that thing was written, they knew that it was going to get challenged in Supreme Court. And it basically gave them an opportunity to go in there and tear up stuff that our ancestors were fighting for. I believe that if we're going to draw districts and we're going to fight for districts to be redrawn, we have to stop using race as our basis. To me, they have everything that's been based on race has been kicked back in our face.
But bro, what is the resistance to what they do? Because it was built on race, bro.
I got what is the resistance? Moving forward. What are you gonna do? You gonna stand outside and kick and tell them they immoral? They have already shown you that they're not. So what are you gonna do? Stand outside and kick the door in? Or what you gonna do?
That's where the power of the ballot comes in. That's where the lawsuits come in at.
That's where we have to participate in that. We're talking about one section of the law, which is we're talking about the House of Representatives. Is the only thing that's affecting the gerrymander. We can still vote our senators in. We can still vote our president in.
Well, to me, I always look at what is the intent of the change, and are they moving in bad faith?
It don't matter.
And if they're moving, what do you mean it don't matter? So we just let them do it, and
we already know what the intent is, hot dog. The intent is not to keep power. That's their intent.
Right, but I'm saying you saying don't use race to fight it.
No,
ignore
you can't because it's been
fix a racial issue without addressing race.
We already know that they are drawing districts based on race. The only difference is they're not saying it. You get what I'm saying? We are going in there and we're saying we need a black district. We have to stop it.
No, I think we're saying we need black representation.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
I'm asking you why.
So are you saying they have our interest?
I don't need black representation. I need a politician that is putting my concerns in place, because I got plenty black representations. I got plenty black people that ain't got my stuff in place. Look at Florida. Y'all got 3 representatives down there that they don't care about black people. And they black, look just like me. What do you say? Come on now, bro. Hey, just because you black don't mean that we got the same power.
You name three black representatives who don't care about. I can name a whole GOP Senate that don't look like none of us on there. I only got one, and he was appointed. He wasn't even voting.
So what you just said that we need people that look like me to represent
with
us.
The same.
What I'm telling you is that is not always a good thing. That's all I'm saying. I want somebody that's got my
two things.
Matter of fact, the representative that they drawing out in Memphis, he's not even black. He's a white guy.
Oh, the Congress.
The Congress that they just drew his thing that he's been there for 30 years. He's a white guy.
State level too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, we got to quit using race, bro. I mean, everything will play out if you voting for the person based off what you want him to do, and he's doing what you want him to do, and you voting him in, everything will take care of itself.
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I also agree with, like you just mentioned, that was a white guy that voted in, but he represented black interests. Who has better?
Yeah, according to you, he shouldn't have been there. We should have had a black guy there.
But black people vote him in based on their black interests.
And that's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
So I don't need somebody with our best interests. It does not matter what they look like.
Exactly.
We just need somebody who is there to represent the best interest for that said population.
Exactly.
I agree with that. However, I wholeheartedly agree with that, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I do think that there is a higher likelihood of that being someone who looks like us. Not saying we don't have any white allies. We absolutely do. But they are a lot less frequently found than the people who look like us.
I agree with you.
That's all I'm saying.
And my thing is, Whitney, I believe that if I vote the person that I want in office, they're going to be similar to me.
Right, I agree.
My same interests, and I think that'll take care of itself. But if we go in the door And the Supreme Court and its legislators has already frowned when we go in there based off race.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even get past the first step. So
I agree, because they do cut everything down. Like anything that we try to build off race, such as DEI, they come back and they remove it.
Shut down.
They use they use their own tactics against us. So I don't think that we should go in waving the guidon of racism, and then we build something that says black this, black that, regardless of whether that is the foundational principle of it. We have to be careful with how we say it.
But they always use identity politics. They just cover it up with DEI, CRT.
Absolutely.
Just don't say blacks.
So
they've always
like them.
And hot dog. It works.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to learn these tactics and implement them within our community rather than, because I think we're often emotionally baited, and so when you slap a black label on black versus white, it causes us to be more emotionally outraged than strategic. And we have to be strategic and make sure that the policies and the documentation are proper, opposed to black this, black that. Granted, it's always black power, but we have to be smarter.
Whitney, we about to give you the podcast, Mike.
I feel like fire with water, because they just came out and said white men are being discriminated against. How is that okay? But we can't say black this or black that.
What they're doing is they reversing it, man. We can't go out there and say, I only want to, like, for instance, the website that me and you talked about, when they wouldn't let the white doctor on the website. To me, I said, if your information is correct and we are educated people, it didn't matter if he was on that website regardless, because we wanted to use them based off the information on the website. But because we chose not to put him on that website, we gave him a case for them to get sued. You get what I'm saying? So now they can go out there and claim that that now we're racist. They playing that game.
Absolutely. That's what we were born into. Now, I agree with you. We can do whatever we want to do. We just have to be prepared for what comes of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I also believe that if we hyper focus on race and, identity politics, then it's a higher likelihood for them to put somebody in there that is the same color as us, but has none of our interests at all. And then we become swindled. So we have
Exactly. I.e. the HUD secretary. Have y'all been watching like the hearings at Senate?
Yeah, that dude.
I can't stand that guy.
Yes,
like us.
Exactly.
He's terrible.
He got there. But guess what? Trump can say, well, I appointed your African American guy. He's there representing us.
Be happy.
Yeah. That's why I don't know about you guys, but Whitney, in my military experience, some of the worst people that I've worked with, some of the people that were challenging, they looked just like me, and they didn't take care of me. They didn't do anything. So that put me in a situation where I just didn't base all my stuff on race. I based off of what you're gonna do for me.
I agree. Definitely in the military. Now, I came across a lot of good old boys in the military as well, but they were a lot more overt in a sense. And I think for me, especially when I was very young, I was looking to my people to support me, to protect me, and to have my back. And I do believe that when someone who looks like you does not show up for you, it just stings a little harder. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, man, I know you was keeping up with us, but we were talking about, the same argument that we've been, I ain't gonna say argument, same discussion that we've been talking about having a race as a basis of representation.
Well, I was having some technical difficulties, but if it's anything that we were talking about earlier, is that I do think race should play a part in representation, for the simple fact that African Americans have been underrepresented in many of these offices. And when you use race, so here's the argument. Some people will say that we shouldn't use race, but then they turn around and use race to draw the districts that benefit them. Case in point, Memphis. how you saw right after the Supreme Court decision, they went in and they chopped Memphis up into 3 different sections to dilute the African American vote. A few things used to have to happen, right? If they want to dilute the African American vote, because most African Americans live in the same community. And so what they used to do is, in order to dilute the vote, is so you won't have any representation, we'll just have at-large districts so that we will outnumber you and you still won't have representation. Or we will go in and carve up your district or your community in pieces where we would dilute your vote. So it's a tricky argument when we say we shouldn't use race when the other side uses race to draw the districts that benefit them.
Yeah, and that's my argument.
Yeah, but
we have to have some kind of resistance to that. We can't just ignore it and then allow them to proceed with how they're doing. We got to have some kind of resistance until we get the power back. And the only way we can do that is vote our numbers, like Michael stated earlier. Right now, we're not even hitting 50% of our numbers in a lot of the states.
And I would add this, and see, when we start talking about racial districts, African Americans have shown to be able to vote for candidates that don't look like us, oftentimes because we've had to do it our entire existence in this country. Now, we haven't seen that on the other side too many times. Now, on the Republican side, you will see a candidate, but that candidate does not reflect the ideals and the values of that community at large, where you will see them get elected to, let's say, South Carolina. But I can tell you that that senator for South Carolina doesn't represent our community in the way that we think a person that looks like him should. And not to say we agree with you every step of the way, but there are some fundamental things that we think you should bring to the table when you're representing the state and you look like us.
So my question is it more important to have somebody that look like us or have the same values as us?
Values. African Americans always.
That's me. So if we're looking at values and character, then and like Micah said, break the districts up or crack the districts up based on population, then everything will play out during the voting booth. You know what I'm saying?
See, I think the biggest issue with all of this, if we got rid of this gerrymandering crap, I think you would get sensible elected officials on both sides of the aisle. Exactly. Right now, you have both parties playing to the extremes of both parties. Republicans, all they got to do is cater to 20 to 30% of the extreme people in their party. Democrats the same. But if you had sensible districts where everybody had to work together, I guarantee you'll get common sense elected officials who really care about the people. And it's not, well, I got to please this person who's the king of the party or the queen of the party. No, you're representing your constituents. And right now with these gerrymandered districts, if you win your primary, most likely you're going to win the general election because of the way these districts are drawn and they're gerrymandered on both sides. And so that's the reason why many people will argue that we need nonpartisan drawn districts so that we get common sense back in our politics.
Say that again. You just said a key thing to me, Edmund. You just said a key thing. You said nonpartisan drawn districts. Not one time did you use race.
Not one time.
Not one time. That's my whole argument.
But you wouldn't have to. So see, you wouldn't have to. But because most African Americans, because of redlining, because of historical trends, most African Americans live in similar communities, right? Segregation still has an effect on how our communities are made up. But there's a win-win for everybody if the districts are drawn in a nonpartisan way where you didn't necessarily have to rely on that. Oftentimes that we do, and that's how we get these districts that we have today.
But
and I'll be honest, white politicians don't care about the white population either. They care about the population that can get them elected, but they don't care about poor people.
Exactly.
So the white officials do not care about poor white people.
Well, I already told y'all, money brings power, and power is what they're seeking.
Classism uses.
Yeah. To me, it's more classism than it is racism. You know,
classism.
If you look at it, let's just be honest, and if you look at it, most of us in rural Georgia, rural anywhere, have so much more in common. That is the reason why they use these identity well, I wouldn't say identity politics, because I don't like that like use, but they use these hot button issues like gay marriage and trans issues to kind of divide the electorate, so that we get so caught up on that stuff that we don't look at, well, we have all this in common. If you go back and you look at history and candidates that gained traction, let's look at RFK when he was running before he got assassinated. He was galvanizing people from both sides of the aisle. Believe it or not, when George Wallace ran for president, you had black people that supported this segregation. It's because he had a message that resonated with them because they were poor, and he had a populist message where people, grabbed hold to that candidacy. And so my thing is, we have to have people that really have a message that resonate with the electorate. And I guarantee you get elected. But we oftentimes vote against our own economic interests in these parts of the country.
So all Edmund is saying, House District 157, vote Michael King. that's what
it is.
I'm the politician for all the people, man. It's time to get out of the classism, the pay to play politics. We need somebody who's gonna speak up for everybody.
Big facts, big facts. And Michael, your policies,
take care of itself.
And your policies and initiatives are on your website. All of that information is there, readily available for people to take a look at. So with me, I always look at the policy initiative. Who proposed what and who blocked what? We go back to gerrymandering. There was a consensus on the Democratic side. Let's ban gerrymandering nationwide. But guess who didn't want to do that? Who unanimously voted against that? So that's why I always say, okay, what is their intent? We know what their intent is. So if they're going to do what they do, we need to do what we need to do. Sometimes doing what's right by the law may not be what's right by the people. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
People need to get out and vote. Them voters, no matter what district, no matter what district you in, them voters are still there, and you got to vote.
Exactly. No matter how they draw the line.
Turning out 25%, 30%, that's on us. That's untapped power that we need to do.
That's crazy.
And then we have some passionate people.
We got to vote.
Yeah, we have some passionate people when it comes to politics. Me and Roderick and Evan, we chat all the time. Sometimes me and Roger go back so much the other guys turn their notifications off.
Yeah, all day.
All right, 8 o'clock in the morning.
But it's never personal. It's all passion, because we have the same passion for the end goal for our people. But sometimes we have a different prism on how we see how to get there. So it's never nothing personal, but we definitely want the best for our people. All right, man, that was pretty intense, pretty lively. See, I knew we were gonna have some good conversation with these intelligent.
Yeah, we need a couple more women sub some of these dudes out. I'm
Especially when the lowest light
up on y'all. No.
Whoever has the lowest light gotta go. This is with you, bro.
I like them. I like them.
Good balance there.
Nah, you
so
always
going back.
We kind of agree with you on one thing.
Yeah.
What? Oh, the NCAA issue.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
don't hate Michael, man.
It was a couple things where you was kind of on his side, so I knew he was gonna be like,
"Don't hate Michael."
I like that. We need to be on the show again.
I do not like. I don't think I'm on his side. I'm just being honest. It's
exactly.
You said you agree with him. So I don't know.
I agree with him. What exactly did I say I agree with him about?
They call me a Trump.
Not going strictly by race, I do agree with that. Granted, I do believe that we need to have representation. Representation is important. However, I don't want to be swindled by another black person just because they're black. I think
they about to call you a Trumper. So she can't be a Trumper. What y'all gonna call her?
Not that.
What y'all gonna call her?
McMahon. You over there talking about third party with Jill Stein and Cornell?
Right. I'm talking about all y'all. Hey, you don't want to know
Jill Stein since the election.
Nope. I did not say no Jill Stein. I said I am a third party. I think it's time for a third party. And I'm not with the Democrats, and I'm definitely not with the Republicans. But I didn't say nothing about Jill Stein.
You know what I'm saying? But she in the third party, though.
Yeah, I think it's time, bro. Yeah, and all y'all talking nonsense to me. So.
It is, but just like the not so conservative infiltrated the conservative party. Why can't we
Oh,
do
y'all
the same?
crazy. The progressive crazy and the MAGAs, because I put y'all in the same category.
Oh wow.
Hold up, I ain't a progressive.
I didn't say that. I just said I put progressive and MAGAs in the same category. Them jokers have lost their mind.
I don't
Like
know.
Evan said, we
One
just
has
need
a
some
higher
common sense.
one has a higher level of education than the other, bro. So I can't agree with you on that one.
You say what I'm saying, but I've seen people. I've seen MAGAs with doctorate degrees too.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but what is that? A median or the average?
It don't matter.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways. But man, moving on with the show.
Back to Democrats ain't the most educated people in the world either.
I wouldn't say they are, but the most educated people vote for the Democrats, I would say. And I'm not even a Democrat. I'm an independent. But when I look at the numbers, I know you hate numbers.
I'm honest with
but
you.
when I look at the numbers,
that's fair.
When I look at the numbers, the education levels do vary from one side to the other on who supports who versus degrees.
I don't know where I'm at right now.
So Roger gonna start the pack to get the third party started. Somebody got to fund the third party.
Yep, somebody got to put some common sense in this thing, man. You know,
you got to put money in it. You can't have a party without money.
That's Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah, we can get the Noble and the Sasquatch to start a party.
Oh wow!
I think they already got one.
With them.
Oh yeah, I do too. And it's one
they already got one. Yeah.
It dies and rebirths itself.
Yeah, man. But man, moving back to Glenville. And then again, if you're tuning in, this is Corner Store Podcast with our new co-host, special correspondents, Miss Whitney B and Miss D in the building. Thank y'all so much for joining us. And again, these are the opinions of the host in our personal capacities. They don't reflect our organizations, our employers, and take anything you heard that hurt your feelings for love, because we want the best for everybody. All right. So moving back to Tatnall County, man, D, you sent me this, and Micah actually touched on this a couple of years ago, but overdue property tax and tax sale prevention in Tatnall County. Man, what do we need to do from both ends? I feel like if you're a homeowner or you own property, you should always keep up with whatever your liabilities are and make sure you pay them on time. But also, how can we get the county held accountable for sending out proper notifications before we end up seeing in the paper like Micah did several years ago, and then people weren't even aware of it?
Hey, hot dog. So that when that question got posed and to us this morning, so I don't know anything about land ownership, especially when it came to how property taxes are notified, because mine come out automatic, different things like that. So I went and reached out to a property owner. I asked them, and that property owner is not located in Tatnall County. And I said, how are you notified of your property liability? That he said that person sends out a letter. All right. That they send out a letter telling you how much you owe and when it's due. I said, do they send it to the current property or do they send it to your current address? He said, you can go on, that information goes to your current address. So it appears that notifications are out there, or a path to get notified is out there. So that portion is still kind of still got a couple questions, because I knew you said something about being able to go online. I'm not in Tatnall County, so I don't know if you can go online, and I know that they have a capability to go online and pay. I don't know if it's online.
As a mama with a property there, you can't. They do send out notices around November, December every year. You get it. But because my mom's permanent address is that address, is say if she's up here with me in Atlanta, sometimes it gets dropped. It's because for me as a homeowner here, it's included in my mortgage. So sometimes people can forget, or that they don't get their mail, on time, or they just forget about it. And sometimes you will get a notice and you won't know it. But you can go online and pay your tax bill, but you have to pay the whole bill. You can't pay it all at once. Let's say you want to set yourself on a payment plan. You can't pay that online. You have to call into the office, and they will take a payment over the phone and then mail you your receipt. And so they do work with you. If you need some assistance, they will help you as far as breaking it up for you and things of that nature. So I haven't had a problem with them. With the property in Glenville, there it's just sometimes you just forget because you're just moving through the day-to-day of life, but they will work with you, and they don't really post your taxes at the county level unless you're like more than like 2 years behind.
2 or 3 years.
You got to be more over 2 years behind before they put you in the paper. So they try to notify you as well. So I will defend them.
So you're saying basically when a property has gone up for auction, that individual have noticed it. He's had ample opportunity or ample time and notifications to get that property paid for.
You should, unless you have it sent to another address that you may not know about. So when Micah started listing all the people that were in the paper, I wouldn't have known because, I'm so used to paying my taxes through my mortgage. I wouldn't have known. So I was able to call down there and pay it and get it. How people, such in the newspaper. So we just didn't know, and sometimes you just forget, but they do notify you. But our mail goes to that address because that's my mom's permanent address. So if she's here with me in Atlanta, she wouldn't have got it. It would just been piled up with the other mail that we get when she comes home.
So have you made that change of address?
I haven't because that's her permanent address. That's her house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of situations like that here in Tatnall and Glenville where people own property, whether it was passed down or they just bought property and they don't live here, and they just tend to forget. And I think for some reason in that year, all those properties weren't 2 years. I don't know how they got listed at the county level because they weren't 2 years behind. So I just kind of was like, hey, check on just as a courtesy. Hey, y'all check on y'all property.
Now, the city of Glenville are different. Now they will list you after a year.
Yeah.
The city of Glenville would take you for $200 for $150.
Oh, wow.
They will do that.
Yeah.
They will. But yeah, if you own property here, just be on top of it. But they do send letters and stuff like that out to try to, and they work with you. So even if it goes up for auction, it's not like the end of everything. You can buy it back, and you still have some time after that to buy it back.
Yeah, normally you have a year and a day to pay all your back taxes and all the fees and stuff a year and a day. But when me and my sister were looking through the newspaper, I was just like, okay, it seemed like it was in one central area. I don't know what's going on over there, if they're clearing the land or something, but I've seen predatory tax sales go on like around Atlanta. And I just think, whoever it is, times, things happen. We're all out here trying to, just get by, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. Call the commissioner, the tax commissioner's office and work out whatever you can. See if you apply, if you can qualify some sort exemptions of any sort. Payment plan, call them. And yes, it can be found online. I don't mind. We can share the website or whatever, but there was quite a few and we weren't sure if people were aware. So you don't have to wait for it to come in the mail. You can go online and look at it.
I got a question. I got a question for the group. Is it predatory for you to go in and participate in the auction?
I don't think so. I think it's
fair. Mean,
I'll be looking sometimes to see what's out there.
Yeah, we look, but I kind of feel like, we know these people. This is our family, sort of like that part. I don't know.
Well, if it's somebody I know, and
here, it would be somebody, what would be the chances of it not being somebody that in Glenville?
So you see,
it depends. So if it's somebody I know and I know that they actively trying to hold on to their property. Now, if it's somebody that's just hey, I let it go, and I know they let it go and they aren't trying to do anything with it, then yeah, that might be a kind of a quick opportunity to come up on some land or some property.
Yeah.
So even if they are still wanting or desiring to maintain their property, at what point do you say, okay, well, you're just not able to? Do you be benevolent and you pay the taxes for them because they want to keep it? Or do you take advantage of the opportunity and find a way? I mean, I don't know who does the onus lie on? If there has been, and it sounds like there is a documented process, at what point is it just the way it is, the way it goes? You know, I think there may be some generational issues. You know, it's difficult. It's sometimes people, the feet get stepped on. Not to say you seek to hurt somebody or you be malicious, but at what point is it just okay? We're just gonna call a spade, and now this is free. This house is free game.
Yeah, I agree. And it could be both ways.
It's just difficult because we know these people. Everybody is family, so it does tug at your heartstrings.
I mean, if anything, are you going to call this person like, "Hey, you want to work out a deal or something like that?" Or are we going to
have their phone number just because you know a person?
The city done called them. The city.
No, I'm just saying though, like either you get it or somebody else is going to get it. And if you were the person to acquire that property, or after the year and a day or whatever, like, or you sit on it and say, "Hey, I got this for a year. Give me the money," and then you get your land back. And if you don't, then it's mine. Like,
well, I don't think it's yours. Even if you purchase it, it's not yours until after that 1 year.
A year and a day. Yeah. But like I said, like, where do you get to that point to where you just buy up all the property and wait for people to pay you back, and then yay, I got some more land. I mean,
that's something. Are you going to be benevolent and buy it for them and give it back to them? Because I mean, that could be.
You're not giving it back to them if they're paying it back. You have to. Like, now you're going to light the fire. Like, hey, I better take this serious and pay my back taxes before it gets snatched for real. But
no, I agree.
If you don't do it, anybody else might do it.
Yeah, but what is the motivation
that they don't pay within that?
That's what I'm saying. What is the motivation? I'm not looking to do that. I might be concerned about family. To save it, to stay in the family, not me buy it and hope they don't pay it, and then I got more land. Like, I'm not looking at it like that. It's a practice. That's predatory tax. Yeah, people do that. They come up on property like that.
The predatory piece I see of it is when they purchase it through a tax sale, and then they become a landlord to the residents and turn them into tenants. And now they raise the price.
That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not. So I'm looking for just, if I'm looking, I'm just looking for just.
So it's better to kick them. So it's better to kick them off the land.
No, some people keep them on the land, but then they turn them. They went from being a homeowner resident to being a tenant.
So let me get this straight.
So kick them out.
Whose fault is that?
I mean, ultimately,
so let me get this straight.
You don't pay
I go and purchase the land. I pay the taxes for them, and then I give them opportunity. I give them opportunity to go up there and continue to stay. They just have to pay me rent. You telling me that's predatory?
But at what?
I'm saying the way they price them out. Like in our chat, I know someone. He was a manager of mine at the bank. He would look for tax sales, and he had accumulated up to 53 properties over Duval. And some of the people had nowhere else to go, but they stayed there. And then he raised their rent higher than what their mortgage was because now he's a homeowner.
Now that's probably predatory.
That's predatory.
Yeah.
So that's
that's predatory for sure.
Yeah, it's double. To me, the benevolent part is if my brother's in financial issues and he's up for tax sale, then I go in and then purchase it or get his taxes up until he pays me back. But it has to be with interest.
Right.
So to me, it comes down to contractual agreement.
Man, you gonna charge your brother interest?
You gonna charge your brother interest?
That's what he said.
Yeah, because that's money I don't
but I'm gonna be
like 2%.
Hey, but I'm gonna be predatory if I charge somebody rent. Come on, hot dog, man. Come on, man.
Sometimes business is business. I mean, I don't know, because I'm kind of like I'm an emotional girl, but I'm also like a businesswoman, and it depends on how many notifications they've gotten. I think it's a case by case basis. It honestly depends
it's case by case.
What the issue
bro, it
is.
ain't predatory to charge them rent, but if you charge them something outrageous they can't afford, and you know they can't afford, then you're gonna have to end up evicting them anyway. Now you got to find new tenants.
Yeah.
So,
well, some people just go in and kick them out.
Yeah,
They
now
don't even give them a chance. That's crazy.
That's a bit much.
And that's what we don't want to happen.
Yeah,
that's too much.
So you said this was published in the paper, correct?
The recent paper. Yeah.
I don't get Tatman Journal. I think my grandma used to send it to me when I was in the military, but that was
bro.
I used to get
I think
that.
I think people are gonna start coming. They're gonna come to the corner store. I think they're gonna come to the corner store for their local news soon, man. We break more news and they find out on here more. Yeah.
Quick thing, I do. Why is there a reason? Maybe, I mean, you might know. Is there a reason why they don't allow for incremental payments? Now that I do think is unfair.
You don't know that you have to call.
I think if you call the,
I meant online. I'm sorry, online.
Yeah, now that's something that I think they should do. Not only that, I think if you register online, I think that you should be able to get notifications when your taxes are coming due. Oh, and they should offer you a payment plan on there so that you can pay it in increments to pay it off in time. I just think that's, I mean, the tax commissioner has a lot of power, so that's something that I think.
But you know, also I noticed that here in Columbia County, anything that you pay online is a 3%.
Yeah, and they do charge. They charge you that. They charge you that. Okay. Even if I call over the phone, they would charge you that fee as well.
Even if it's coming from a checking account?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like
now if you write a check, it's just straight. You can.
Yeah, but you have to go to the location.
The EFT. You know how you can link your bank opposed to using a debit card. They typically don't charge.
I always use.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
They only charge for the card, like a debit card. There's a processing fee for a debit card.
Yeah, I know that if you pay online, I don't even know if they give you the option for EFT, but
they will.
I know it's 3% on the. It's a 3% for credit card, or you have the option to come in and pay cash.
Yeah, and all those credit card charges are pass-through fees, so they get charged for having people use the credit card. So they're not going to eat those fees; they're going to pass it through to the customers online. But man, we're almost at the end of the show. Man, we're still at good time, ladies. Our shows usually last like 3 hours, but we've been doing.
I got a rebuttal for you too on that athlete stuff. I was trying to wait, but.
Man, that was like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah,
this might be less than 3 hours.
Yeah, you made a comment. I'm gonna remember in a little bit, but I'll tell you. I'll let you know. Let me get my thoughts right.
I missed that one.
You missed that one, man.
Man, you wouldn't believe it.
We started with the NAACP boycott and it changed into the voting gerrymandering.
I did not agree with Roger. I just don't disagree with him. I just don't disagree with him. I ain't saying I fully agree. I just don't fully disagree.
Where Raymond at, man?
I'm sure Raymond would be on my side. Like, that's a lot to ask of a kid. A child.
It is. I think it's twofold. We shouldn't ask them to do it alone, and then we still watch football. That's
a hard answer.
Yeah, that's.
What else I'm gonna watch?
Hey, I ain't participating.
I think this is the reason why we have to teach our kids to be socially conscious about what's going on. You know, I don't think it's an excuse, because when you look at the civil rights movement, everybody want to think that those people were old Americans. Most of those people that were in SNCC and that were in the SCLC were young. Dr. King was 26 years old when he led the civil rights movement. So if he led the civil rights movement at 26, and all those leaders that we look up to today that's in our history books, they started when they were in high school. They started actually the Birmingham, the march in Birmingham, and that whole movement movement was led by kids, because the kids are the ones that really capture the hearts and minds of America. So I think we sell ourselves short when we say that these kids too young. No, we just need to. We've made the American dream the ultimate pursuit in this country, and so now the dollar has become so powerful that we will negate our own humanhood, humanity in this country, and not stand up for the things that we need to stand up for, because those poor kids need to get out the hood, and we can't put all that responsibility on them. Well, the same thing could have been said for our ancestors who got out here and fought, bled, died.
You're talking about a different time. Yeah, it was
So
a different time, different fight.
But what I'm saying is it's no different. No, the times have changed where we have become greedy over $1, and now we are not.
Is it greed, or is it? I don't like those terms that you guys use when y'all say greed or whatever. That's a different
think
time.
About how much money comes through the SEC and whatever. I don't watch sports. I don't think girl, yay team, go sports. I don't watch this stuff, but like how much money comes through this? I believe like Georgia alone brought in how many millions of dollars. And I see where why the NAACP wants to, reach out to people, like hit them in their pockets, make them feel it. That's why they're saying this. And yes, it's not going to just be the kids boycotting the schools and going to different districts. They have to.
So are you guys saying that y'all feel like the children should reject their opportunities to go to these schools? Possibly have
I think that we need to come together on one thing.
Here's my argument. Most of those kids who go to those SEC schools are 4- and 5-star athletes that can go anywhere they want to go in the country, right? They go to those SEC schools because they built a reputation of being, powerhouse programs and win a national championship. Sometimes we may have a pivot in history and do things differently. And I just think that, that is an option. And I don't only think we just need to stop there. All these organizations of Black folk that have conferences and things, D9, the Essence Festival that's in New Orleans every year, move it somewhere else, move it to a state where people respect you and really respect who you are and support your rights as a citizen in this country. And that's the only thing we're saying right now. We're saying it doesn't have to last forever, but I guarantee you money talks. If those folks can't make the type of money that they're making, I guarantee you they'll pivot.
As a parent of an SEC
student, the bus boycott that lasted for almost a year,
a
little over a year, and they made that legislation, they made that change because money.
I'm only saying that I cannot say that after watching my son go through everything that he's gone through, and finally, would I support him and hope that he did that? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I would think he would be a man of noble character. However, if I'm not going to say that I would pressure him to take that stance, I just wouldn't. Just because, and I'm basing this off all of my experiences, all my time, all my money, everything that I have watched.
I agree with that, but at what cost? What will it come to when they're, stripping away our rights as women, as Black people, as whatever? And I'm not saying that this is the answer to solve all our problems, but at what cost will we say, hey, I'm going to start making a sacrifice for the greater good because these people are tripping? Like, we're just like,
I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. Me saying that I wouldn't push my son up to do that is not me saying that.
Yeah, but I understand why the NAACP is calling for this, because that governor, those governors, they're going to be on that football field when those people win the championships. They're right there with the team.
Yeah, but it goes back to what Edmund says. For instance, if your son was getting recruited by Georgia, Alabama, or LSU, he's likely going to be recruited by Ohio.
And that means somebody in California would want him as well. I agree with
that. You missed my whole statement. Edmund missed my whole statement.
So what? I think that it is probably easier. Now, I can't really say that this is true for me because I'm also financially okay. But there are some kids where that school or, that opportunity, that NIL, I know a little boy right now he received $1 million payment and he is having to pay his mom's bills. So now, granted, I do believe that you could possibly work something out with the school and say, okay, well, if my son does decide to come to California to play for you all, are you all going to fly me there and ensure that he can receive the same support that he would have received if he was in Georgia?
It's illegal, but they were doing that way before NIL.
Yeah, you're not right now with NIL. So I'm a parent of an SEC student, okay, and I'm gonna tell you this: it's underlying costs that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people just don't know the business of NCAA. It's some things that my son could do, and there was some things that I couldn't do as a parent that would affect his eligibility. Some of the things is the coach couldn't do certain things. Like he's got a bag, and then he moved to New Orleans. They are responsible for certain things. Certain kids couldn't even eat in the chow hall because of some of the money they receive. So the parents have to pick that up, or the kid pays it out of his NIL. First of all, it's no such thing. Most kids, only 10% of the NCAA people are getting NIL deals. The only ones that are getting NIL deals are the ones that you see on commercial. The ones that are receiving money directly from the school is called collective. That means some booster said, I'm going to give this kid this much money. It's mostly a one-time deal. Now, they have changed to what they call profit sharing. I'm not familiar with profit sharing because my son didn't get that. He got a collective deal. All right. Now, I can tell you from a parent's perspective, from two D1 athletes, I spend money to have to go and see them play. I have one in Boston. At one time, my basketball player was in Boston. I was responsible for getting to the games. The only thing the school gave me was tickets to the game. That was it. All right. I was responsible for my hotel, my food, my travel, everything. All right. Now, me traveling alone, that's about almost $800 to $900 by the time you count everything in. You have some parents that can't do that. All right.
But and can the kid pay for you? Like if your son wanted to pay for your travel.
Yes, he could pay for me, but everybody ain't $1 million kid. You got it? Everybody not $1 million kid. My son.
I mean, those are the ones we're talking about, though. Like,
no, we're talking about all of them. We talking about all of them.
Not all of them are gonna get. Like I think
y'all specifically talking about this kid that's got an opportunity to go from that got offered in Georgia, and you're assuming that he got an offer in California, Michigan. Some of these kids only offer is Georgia, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Some of them don't get the offers.
Sometimes California just recruiting out their own backyard.
Yeah. You know, some of these schools are with the costs and everything going. Some of these schools only
Florida, when I say you, Florida is all over the country. Kids from here go Oregon,
Georgia too.
Georgia too. But I'm also saying that every kid that's wearing that Georgia uniform is not a millionaire.
No.
I think they're putting emphasis on the kid that is that star player, like the kid that was at Mississippi State, I think it was. He said, if y'all don't take that flag down, I'm transferring. The flag,
that's cool.
The NAACP was trying to take it down for 10 years. After he said that, they took it down in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but so you know, some kids have that leverage. But you talking about a freshman that's coming in or a player that's coming in, and he just received life-changing money for some. You know what I'm saying? Some families like the kid that Whitney was talking about. He's taking care of his mom. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure if he's taking care of his mom, he's probably taking care of somebody else. You know, and you asking him to kind of get that up.
To me, it's going to come down to assessment. Do you have options or do you not have options? You got to go with what the options you have.
NCAA need to find something else to do. Leave them kids alone.
The NCAA.
That's how I look at it.
Well.
No, I disagree with that. But
I'm pretty sure you on to disagree with it until it affects you.
So what's the alternative?
Let me tell you something. I don't care because, like Whitney said, when you are a parent who can care less of whether your child goes to D1 and you're all right, it's these folks that we got to worry about is these parents, just like the kids she was talking about, who parent is gonna get they look at their kids as meal tickets out of the hood. And so those are the ones that you're gonna have to worry about. But the other ones, just like I said earlier, if you got a D1 scholarship to Georgia, most likely you got a D1 scholarship to anywhere else you want to go in the country. And my thing is, it comes back to who you are and what you stand for. And I think as a community, we are where we are right now because we lost our social edge, where we just let anything happen to us, and money is the most important thing to us right now. And that's why we're where we are right now, and they can buy us off. They bought people off during slavery, and said, hey, why? How you think many rebellions got told on? Because you got people who was happy with the status quo, and so that's what we are.
I just disagree with that whole comment. So,
well, what about it? Pay us well and treat us bad.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
We went back to
Pay us
that
well and treat us
I
bad.
just think with the climate of America right now, especially financially, it's a lot to ask somebody to give.
It's a lot. It's a big ask. I understand why they ask.
I do think that they are capitalizing off of Black desperation. I understand that 100%. So, it's a slippery slope either way. I just can't say that I would force my child to do. But I see the benefits of it.
Hey.
All right, we won't be laboring that topic.
I see
Well,
how
y'all got that out the system. Is that out the system?
No. Hey, when I see your son list of recruiting, and I see Edmund's son list of recruiting, and then y'all get the opportunity to choose a school, then we'll come back and have this conversation.
Well, to me, it can't be singular. To me, it has to be a collective. Like, how did we get NIL anyway? Guess who started? Northwestern.
But see, let me say this right here, where there could be something where there's a difference. Vanderbilt is a private institution, right? That's
Vanderbilt is also in Tennessee.
But it's in Tennessee, but it's a private institution, and it depends on what their stance is on these issues. We know
we already know what their stance is. You know the history of Vanderbilt. Come on, man. Come on now.
History of Vanderbilt. Hey, they trying to make it. I wouldn't go there.
So you look Edmund. Hey, look, Edmund finna be running in that black and gold, ain't he? Exactly. So see, at the end of the day, when we got to make these decisions, then we'll have this conversation again.
I have these same conversations with my son, so he's culturally aware of how society is impacted. End of the day, sports is entertainment. Everybody, there's more people that don't watch sports that do watch sports. So how do we?
Sports have not been entertainment for kids.
This is the problem I have too, right? Since we're on this sports thing, you see how there's no uproar with the quarterback of the Giants coming out introducing Trump, but they were telling black athletes, "Shut up and dribble." You see, there's a double standard here. It's a double standard.
They let you know who they stand with, but we want our people be quiet. Go get that check.
Right,
come on.
Right. Oh, be quiet. Don't say that. Don't stand up for your people. That's politics.
I think you play your position and you play your power, because I have seen African Americans go up there and express their. Charles Barkley does it. Shaq does it. All of them go up there and they express their political views every night when you watch.
Who's doing that currently? Who's doing that currently?
Yeah, I'm talking about that's playing.
Right now.
I don't know what their situation is.
It's like an active player that is speaking out.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know.
There's nobody other than LeBron, and LeBron is his own man. I mean, they can't do nothing to him.
Yeah. I think he's kind of
would the young athletes or even the young parents accept the NAACP's message better if they were more culturally relevant? Because I feel like the younger generation don't even know or care about the NAACP.
And that is correct.
That's a fact.
I guarantee you that. My son knows.
You're not gonna get an argument out of me on that. You're absolutely right.
I'm also aware that my kids are aware that NAACP, but they also come up different than I did. And also these kids, this fight and this environment is different than what my dad came up with in the segregated South. So those two different fights. Those are two different fights, and you can't. And I know people are trying to compare them, and they're trying to put similarities in them, but they are different fights. And we have to update we're going to have to update our tactics. And that's all.
I disagree just a little bit, because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, it's embarrassing as an educator when I find actually young white students more passionate about issues that pertain to our community than our kids are. Our kids are worried about a prom send-off and being extravagant and a flash of money versus being culturally aware and out here fighting a good fight. So that's a whole nother conversation we can have. And it's very embarrassing when you see that, because I feel we've lost our footing in our community. Our churches are not relevant. The NAACP is not irrelevant. And we need to ask ourselves why.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Man, let's save some of that to the next show. I feel like there's going to be some things that transpire over the next couple of weeks when it comes to the NAACP. I'm interested in seeing how the Jackson Dart thing plays out with the New York Giants and him introducing Trump. But let's go to the next segment. Now, ladies, I'm going to lean to you for this section. Well, I might need some music for this one right here. Hold on, let me see.
Black and gold, black and gold.
All right. So, red pill, blue pill conversation. So this is more of a deep conversation that I'm glad we have you ladies on the show, because I feel like it would have been an echo chamber with the guys talking about some of the red pill, blue pill stuff. But what do men misunderstand about women the most?
Man, I'm finna cut off my shit.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, boy, we about to be like, man,
I knew it. What do men misunderstand about you the most?
They don't even know.
I don't care to answer.
Also, you say you don't care to answer, friend? I mean, I don't know if this is gonna fall on deaf ears or not. So I'm trying to formulate, because honestly, at this age, as I grow older and wiser, I just realized that women and men think differently. So we can sit here and go on and on and on and on and on. It's just gonna be a debate. It's gonna be an argument.
You're beating a dead horse.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess for the sake of a conversation, possibly the emotional aspect of women. Sometimes, like when we're going, I think when men hear women complain about something or being emotional about something, because men are so wired to have a resolution or come up with a solution to a problem, they don't realize that you could probably just sit there and just appeal to her emotions, and she's not even looking for a solution for real. She just wants to vent and wants you to say something, which is probably unrealistic to ask of a man, because y'all are not very emotional. Well, at least y'all don't lead with emotions. If she's coming in and complaining, number one, she's not attacking you. She's not, coming at you and telling you that you're not good at anything that you do. She's absolutely just talking about that one specific thing. And it could all probably end with just a hug or, baby, I understand where you're coming from. I'm sorry. Or, we'll figure it out, or something like that. So I think maybe that's probably one of the biggest misunderstandings or miscommunications between men and women, the emotion versus logic.
That sounds like voters.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't, hey, Michael, you can't ignore them.
Yeah.
I'm messing.
You can't ignore them. I've learned.
You have the right nickname, because that mouth is crazy.
Hey, man. Hey, I've been married for 27 years.
Hold on, before you give that explanation, I'm gonna put this question on you, since I put it on the ladies. What do women misunderstand about men the most?
That men carry a lot of weight, man. You know what I'm saying? As a real man, you supposed to lead. You supposed to be financially sound. You're supposed to be emotionally sound. You're supposed to be physically sound. It's no day off as a man. It's no day off, no bad day. People sit there and say, I know some men that are breaking down, that when they leave the house, they cry, because they trying to figure out what's the next step, what's the next thing. But you can't show that to your family, because you're supposed to be the pillar, so it's I mean, to be honest with you, it's hard. And I don't think people understand that. Like Father's Day, a lot of times we don't get gifts on Father's Day. We wind up being the cook, what I'm saying? But we're responsible for, let me tell you what my rundown is. I'm responsible for Mother's Day. I'm responsible for Valentine's Day. I'm responsible for Christmas. Birthdays. What's the other holiday? The Mother's Day. It's something else I'm missing. It's another holiday in there. Anniversaries. Yeah.
Anniversaries.
Yeah. You're responsible for those particular holidays, right? You're responsible for those holidays. They don't care how you get it, what you got, and you have to surprise them. And every year gets rougher because now, after about 5 gifts times how many years you together, guess what happens? That spark that they looking for is harder to light. It's harder to light every year. I done quit that shit. I just give my wife money every day. Every holiday I cut her a check. Go do what you do.
Okay, friend, do you wanna respond to that?
Red pill, blue pill.
Okay, so I'm gonna respond to that. I may not be speaking for the masses because I don't understand how all the things that you just listed that you're responsible for, do the women the
women not have responsibilities?
Also provide these things to their men? Like, I think it's reciprocal. No.
Yeah, I can.
I know my man is never going without a Father's Day.
Yes, I'm about to say, do women not do the same thing in relationships? In boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, do women not do the same thing and carry the same load? And that's not to negate your responsibility, because like you said, as a real man, you willingly take on these things. Some men don't, so we're not talking about those. But you say as a real man, you take on all these responsibilities. So I don't know if you've been married that long. I'm pretty sure she makes you feel appreciated for the things that you bring, and that she also reciprocates in some type of way, and that she also carries a load as a wife and a mother.
Well, as a grown man, I get reciprocated in other ways. I understand that it's not hard being a mother and a wife.
It's not hard being a mother?
You mean it's not easy, I believe.
Excuse me, it's not easy being a mother.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. It's some easy. Oh, don't get me wrong. Some of y'all is easy as hell. But going back to her, you know, I understand that. But as you grow in a relationship, and some of you guys are gonna find out, some of these holidays disappear from the man. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. It's just natural. You know that some of these holidays, women look more forward than men do. Like, I don't care about Valentine's Day. All right. Don't buy me no card, no balloons. All right. You know what I'm saying? But not try that with a female. You may have some backlash a little bit. You know, Mother's Day is a big holiday for us, you know, but I also understand that Father's Day, hey daddy, happy Father's Day. You know, I got that. Now my back is big, so I understand. I take some of that, you know. So my kids don't really have to do a lot of things for me. I get gifts, don't get me wrong. But what I'm telling you is that I just think that it's a little bit more pressure on the man to provide those particular holidays than it is for a female. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. To me, I just feel like, I have some of them same sentiments, Slick, but to me, it just depends on how mature are you in your relationship. Like me and my wife, we don't celebrate Valentine at all, because every day should be Valentine with us. Like we shouldn't have a commercialized, identified day that America says, hey, this is that day that you need to do something for someone special. That could be any day of the week, any time of the year. So we kind of look at it that way. Now, what I do have a gripe with, like Mother's Day, I'm just riding. Every corner I see baskets. Every corner store I see baskets out front. Now, when Father's Day come up this June, I bet you we won't see now one basket. The Golden Corral parking lot is going to be empty. All of that. So, y'all have I ever made those observations?
Yeah, I mean, but
we have to compete with Juneteenth now.
Newport.
So, okay, I will agree that it is not as in your face and upfront as Mother's Day is. And I believe that America has done a good job of forming social constructs that appeal to emotion. And women are some of the most emotional beings, but that's not our fault. Now, I think it balances out. First and foremost, I will say that I understand that one thing that women have the luxury of doing that men typically don't is complaining. Y'all can't really complain about anything. Like you said, y'all put it on y'all's backs and y'all might go off and cry, in the car or whatever, but y'all come back to us with dry eyes and we don't even know what you're going through. So I do think that at some point, I don't know if the pendulum will ever swing to the other side, but I do think that that's unfair. However, I also believe that there are some things that people just automatically expect out of women that are a lot heavier to carry than most people realize. And I'm saying in terms of like, hold on, sorry, my computer is going down. A mature woman who is actually running the house and nurturing the home. And I think that the same way we expect y'all to buy things, y'all expect us to do things.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so it all just evens out, in my opinion.
Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
I'm a girl dad, so Father's Day, my birthday, hey man, it's an extravaganza. And I got 20 girls, so I get treated well.
Yes.
Now my baby take care of me, man. She built me a basket, bro. That thing hit 100%. She had me a couple packs of Newports in there, a blanket, bro. She hit it on
there you go.
Yeah, me got doggone t-shirts, bro. She did buy a size too small. I put the t-shirts on, that thing was riding up. Every time I moved, riding up my stomach, so I had to switch them out. But my baby girl take care of me now. I ain't gonna lie to you on Father's Day.
So it sounds like you guys are being loved and appreciated by your women.
I definitely am.
Very
I
good.
am too. I am too. But since we have 4 married folks on here and 2 single, I think, individuals on here, another question that came up is chivalry still important, and is it still attractive, or is it dead? And when you
it's mandatory around here. It's mandatory over here.
Oh, well, in the marriage,
yeah. Oh, you mean for the single people? Oh,
for single people.
Oh.
If it's a part of who you are, I mean, it doesn't go out of style. If you know, I'm never going on a date with a woman, not open the door, not walk on the outside of her when we're walking on the sidewalk. Those are things you just do as a man. So,
is it important to you, D?
Yes, it's very important, but the key word is man. Real man. Like, no, some guys don't want to open your car door. They don't want to stand on that side of the sidewalk when you're walking on the street or whatever like that. Like, no, it's trying to die, but somebody out there is doing it.
Is that really
it's about how you
bad in that? They're challenging that they don't want to do that.
I have went on a date before, and that guy looked at me crazy when I stood at the door and I looked. I'm like, and I wasn't being like pushy about it, but no, like I expect the door to be open when I'm walking in a building or even my car door. And I'm not even like, oh, every single time I get in the car, but it is a really good way to start off. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say like every time, because if you let me in the car, I'm going to reach over and open your door. Like, you know, I think that's just like the game.
I was going to ask that next.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to be, you know, I'm a lady. I want to be treated as such. Like, yes, open my car door, come with flowers on the date, like little things like that. Is everybody doing it? No, but
I think young men they replicate what they see.
Yeah,
I agree.
And unfortunately, they're not seeing it often.
Yeah, my kids. I watched my son. His girlfriend came down to visit, and I watched him go open the door for his girlfriend.
Very nice. You talk.
Shut the door. You know, I watched him. You know, make sure when she came down to eat. I watched him. You know, make sure she knew where everything was at. Hand her a plate. You know, help her fix a plate. You know, I watched him do that, and I'm hoping he got that from me. You know. And one thing, you know, I'm hoping, because I do that, you know.
Well, then he got it from you.
You know, but
I
also teach them they never seen me and my wife argue. You know what I'm saying? So chivalry goes a lot more further than just opening doors. Like my kids, my oldest right now with my wife is 25, And I guarantee you, he's never seen me and my wife raise our voice up at each other, because we will not do that in front of the kids. We take it in the room if we have to. They see me pay for all dinners. Now, my wife, she tries sometimes to slide the card over there, but they see me do that, and to them, that's a normal operation. So I think it's the kids repeat what they see.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Because it's hard out here.
No,
well, I mean, first of all, we have to be honest that a lot of the fathers have been ripped out of the homes of a lot of children, so they don't even have a model. And that's unfortunate. So I do feel like we do need more community leaders to come in and take control of leading and guiding the young man, because that part of chivalry is absolutely beginning to take a fall, and somebody needs to revive it in some way.
That's why you see a lot more kids hitting women and different things like that. So.
And the music and TV.
In the music and the culture, they're making it cool to be disrespectful to each other, men and women.
Yeah.
Men and women.
Hey, Edmund, I had somebody tell me chivalry ain't dead. It just don't exist in Atlanta.
It just depends. I mean, you still got to be careful.
Especially after 12, Michael.
Oh, wow.
That's the inside joke in our group chat. Some of the videos we get about Atlanta is wow. All right, last thing, and then we got to go. We only have 7 minutes left. Great show tonight. If you're tuning in, this is the Corner Store podcast with our 2 edition. Whitney B and Miss D have joined us. Last question in the red pill, blue pill section. Has having too high of a standard hurt the dating game for our young women these days? Like, I see stuff about, man, don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory. And that was like 5-star when we were coming up, and now that's like an insult. You take somebody to the Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh, let me tell you, it's cold out here in these streets, boy. I
couldn't date right now.
Oh, let me tell you, I'll be honest. These women today have some high standards, but I think it's this fallacy that they have in their mind that a man got to do this. It's like a pipe dream. Atlanta's become a very pretentious city where I want this, and sometimes I just want a relationship where we can build together, and have goals that we can rally around together. These women, they have this pipe dream in their mind, and they're striving for this. It's crazy out here. It's cold in these streets. If you married, stay married. I tell all my friends, don't you be out here in the street. I'm gonna tell on you myself, because it's cold out here in these streets.
Hey. Me and my coworker just had this conversation Friday about, he's 31, and I was telling him I could not date in this time frame. I said, tell me about a typical date. He said, well, it depends on the girl. And I said, so how much you expecting to pay on the first date? I said, the first date. He said, well, probably after dinner, probably about $400-500.
Heck no.
For the first date? I was like, come on, bro. And he was like, yeah, man, that's pretty normal. You know what I'm saying? And he started calling out the restaurants. I said, man, I haven't even taken my wife to one of them restaurants yet. You know what I'm saying? So,
get some coffee. Go to Starbucks, get some coffee.
I was balling when I took a girl to Red Lobster in Savannah, bro. Damn near talk of the town, bro.
Red Lobster, Olive Garden.
Hey, Red Lobster was that place.
Back in the day, back in the day, man. Back in the day, my assessment was if it came on TV, then that's a high fashion place. Like Olive Garden. If you can afford a commercial to come on, that's a high fashion place.
If you got a lady come to your table, that's high fashion.
Oh wow!
Waffle House, all that. I'm telling you.
I agree with what Selena Porter said. You can't ask for something you wouldn't do for yourself. That's real.
I like that.
I believe that there is absolutely a tone of performative femininity right now. And
that's a big
a
word.
lot of
I like that, Whitney. You need to.
Mike, t-shirt alert. We need another t-shirt.
Femininity.
Alert.
And I think that women are measuring their femininity based off what they receive from a man, right? Not fully understanding that most men, if he really likes you, he's gonna treat you how he already sees you.
Amen. Say that again.
So you don't have to make all these demands. You just have to walk in, your power, whatever it is. Like your presence will command a certain treatment. And if that man likes you, he's going to align with whatever it is that he feels the need to impress you with.
Like that. So you saying value.
Yes.
The value is
you set your own value.
I'm about to say, hold up.
I believe that you set your own value, and then you are able to choose who you allow to have access to you.
See, I think that's what the disconnect is right there on that.
What's the disconnect?
It's when you set your own value, because I've seen some people that setting their value for Chris, what's the steakhouse? The Chris.
And I don't even just mean with your mouth, though. I'm not saying through your verbal demands or your commands. I'm saying and how you carry yourself as a woman. Because first of all, if you are truly a woman who frequents Ruth Chris, where were you even to find a man who is not going to take you to Ruth Chris?
Oh man, that's good. That's another nugget right there. I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by you set your own value. I feel like you maintain your own access, and then in the event that somebody does try to offer you something less than what it is that you want, I mean, there's a way for you to state your desires, and if he doesn't want to adhere to whatever your standards are, then you just go on about your business. There's no reason for this tug of war.
Yeah, you don't have to take
somebody who wants to do that.
So who established the boundaries on that? So when a person gets out of boundaries, like let's say I know that a man gets checked sometimes when he doesn't meet that standard. If you feel like you're a 5-star and he don't meet that standard, and usually the female will check that, So my question is, when a female thinks she's a 5-star, but really she's a 1 duck, how do you just that balance right there?
I want to dig deeper into that. How are you men labeling women?
I'm just asking the question because
but I need understanding on that.
Like, how are they measuring the value?
How are you measuring? Because if a woman is allowed to see, you got to think that you are, yourself. You have to have that self-confidence. But I guess, men, how are you guys labeling this to say who's 1-star, 5-star, a duck, whatever?
Well, I mean, everybody got categories. I hate to tell y'all, but in a men's group, women will get put in categories, and I'm pretty sure women do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah, and we I use time clocks. I use if you're a 3 a.m. woman, that means that nobody really comes see you until 3 a.m.
It's real. Okay.
Like that a little bit.
I believe that's why I say you set your own value, because if you've been out here acting like a 3 a.m. woman, don't get mad when you get treated like a 3 a.m. woman.
Yeah.
So you saying I'll be out of place if I go up there and me and you talking. Obviously, we're in the same circle, and then we talking, and I say, hey, can I, I want to take you to a restaurant, and I say, Cheesecake Factory, pretty cool, and you tell me that that ain't you. You know what I'm saying? I need to go and step it up a little bit. Am I wrong for saying where I really put you at, or should I meet that standard? Go ahead and.
If you really want to be, I don't feel like you have to tell a man to me. I think men like to impress. honestly, and I could be wrong. I think men like
if they really like you,
women that they really like.
If
so
they really like you, that is.
Yeah, if you really like her, then you're gonna meet that standard. I don't think that there's any value in sitting there arguing and debating or demeaning her. I just think do what you can afford. Do whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do that, then tell her you don't want to do that, and y'all just call it quits.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're doing at this point.
Yeah, to me, it depends on the individual. If you really digging each other, it don't matter where you go. You're going to dig each other wherever you at.
That's true. Because a woman, if she also really likes you, if she likes
You'll
you,
be fine with that. She might be okay with that.
I didn't want to go there. She might just lower her standard because she likes you. Like women believe it. Yeah,
I understand lower your standard. You might try something different outside the box. Like either way it goes. Maybe you only do coffee dates on the first date. You might, you know what, I really like you. Yes, we can go to X, Y, and Z if you have that mutual connection. Then you can get past all that. I think we get lost in the sauce when we have these conversations about Cheesecake Factory and coffee dates and all that stuff. You can go anywhere with your person if you guys have that type of connection. So at the end of the day, be with your people, go with your kind, date people you really like. Let's start there. And you wouldn't have these conversations.
Sometimes you can be fooled.
From a woman's perspective.
Sometimes you can be fooled and
yes,
think
you can. What were you saying, Evan?
I was going to say, from a woman's perspective, where do you think a first date, adequate first date, is it dinner or is it like let's go out and get coffee or?
I'm greedy. I want to eat.
He actually want to know, so give a real answer.
I'm just being honest. I don't really want to go to coffee for a first date. I want you to try to impress. I want to go to a nice restaurant. That's just me. I'm kind of spoiled. Now we can go to coffee maybe for a second date after we've done that. But the first date, I feel like everybody, you should be kind of leading. I mean, and it also depends on the connection, how you two are vibing. Maybe she's a coffee type girl. If she's cool with that, then I think you go with whatever the woman that you are dating is okay with. But
what about just trying to just to have a conversation? Do you think a conversation is better over dinner, or you might not like coffee? We can go to the park and go sit in the park, or go do something that's not dinner.
I feel like he asking for dating advice right now.
There are options.
I'm sorry, friend. You go ahead.
Oh no.
I think for the sake of a sense of chivalry, you say you are a chivalrous man, to stay aligned with that, I think you should possibly take her somewhere nice on the first date, and then you try to plan something to where y'all can actually have intimate conversation, just spend quality time, maybe around the second date. But the first date, I truly believe, should be one that's impressionable.
Yeah, like why are you? I wouldn't say it's like wasting time, but what's the whole point of getting dressed up, getting all your makeup on, putting on heels, a dress, or whatever? Like, I'm going out, taking the effort to go meet a guy that you want to have, build interest in. Like, why not just a small investment of your time?
Yeah.
And have a nice first date.
Hey, so basically, when you get to the house and you see how she dressed, depend on what restaurant you're going.
That's fair.
Hey,
are you not communicating where you're going? Like, hey, we can go meet here at 7, like whatever. She would be dressed for the occasion, so I think
What if you got dressed up and I planned a whole picnic in the park?
Oh God!
No, we were going to the park for a picnic.
Yeah,
so
hey, Slick, if you pull up and she got on sweats and a tank top, where y'all going?
No,
we want to check.
That's insane.
We're going to Huddle House of McDonald's. Hey, get anything on that left side right here. I got you.
Dressed like that, that's where she wants to go.
Exactly.
I believe that women like to dress up for the first date, and men like to see a woman dress
because we're trying to make a good impression. Are we not?
Well, it just depends on the vibe. My first date, I ain't gonna tell y'all where I took my wife on the first date, but
it depends on the vibe.
Yeah, we went to Putt and we played and had such a good time. Everything was closed when we done, so we ended up going to Church's Chicken for the first date.
But y'all had a
So,
good time.
went-
You know,
y'all just
We had a
went
good
beforehand.
time.
you had a good
Yeah.
time.
We had a
It
good
worked
time.
out. Yeah, I don't think there's a template for any of that, but
I
do.
mean, I think Sparks can fly over the honey butter biscuits. I think there's a better meal that could get like love than the honey butter biscuits.
Hey, it might have worked. What we 20 years later, bro? Shoot, it might have worked.
Yeah.
That chicken was
I
blessed.
think I think you guys hit it right though. It depends on who you're talking to, what woman that you're with, and what is and I guess the expectations. Well, you don't know what her expectations is, but you can kind of get a good idea of what her expectations are,
Yeah.
and you can justify her as you see it. You know, I like I said, with my wife, 27 years, she can eat where she want to eat at. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we choose to go this place, and then I want to go over here. You know, it took me a whole 2 years to get her to go to Bonefish Grill. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even want to go to Bonefish Grill. You know what I'm saying? So, and Ruth Chris, I still on the waiting list for Ruth Chris. I tried to throw a birthday party there, but we had some family issues. But by the way, if you're gonna throw a birthday party at Ruth Chris, go ahead and take out a little small loan. It was gonna cost me about $4,000. But yeah, for a party of 21, I had minimum. Yeah, it was like a minimum. I had to spend a minimum of $2,500 plus something else, but it came out to almost a little bit over $3,000.
Yeah, a lot of those. To me, I think a lot of those restaurants overprice and underdeliver. In my opinion,
Oh yeah,
I truly believe so.
paying for the name actually. So
Yeah.
But that's why you actually go. There are some signature restaurants that are privately owned and not in
Right.
the networks that are very good restaurants.
Yeah.
Like churches.
It's actually a franchise.
Man, this has been an amazing show. And man, our guests, you guys have brought in so much light, the intelligence.
Yeah,
What was that big word again, Whitney? I might have to bring a notepad the next time you
Which
know.
one? Performative femininity.
Performative femininity.
Yeah.
Performative femininity. That's a bar right there. Ooh,
Yes,
that's a bar.
Yes, sir.
So I serve God for real.
Yeah.
I serve God for real. Let them see the shirt, Mike.
Hey, got that shit.
Are those on sale? Because I want one of those.
Come on,
Drop the
now.
link.
So we might have to have.
I gotta get one of those too.
I want one of
Yeah,
those.
So
And
we
I
might have
don't
to
even wear
develop
t-shirts a lot, but I need one of those. I need
big
that.
facts. Big facts. So we might have to come up with a corner store merch section with full of quotes with I serve God for real, performative femininity. Ooh, that thing roll off the tongue with that. That's a bar.
You need to go ahead and lock that down, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, you guys have been a pleasure. Thank you guys who are out there still with us. Man, our shows have been picking up the last couple of weeks, and we're gonna hit that 1 million mark. I'm feeling like coming up this week. So thank you all for supporting us. We're gonna continue to bring edutainment. Hopefully, we can educate you and entertain you at the same time. I'm gonna leave it up to the ladies. What are the last words you want to leave with the audience that we could take through the rest of the week and have a good week? Starting with you, let's say Whitney for last. I got a feeling she got some fire coming. But D, what you got for me?
I think the biggest thing for me, like, let's just get organized and like really get something done. We touched on the numbers of people voting. So again, if you're not registered to vote, you can, and get ready for November. Like Michael said, he's still in the race. Like, we really need to come out in numbers. We should not be seeing the low numbers that we're seeing right now. And that just takes for us to like really get out there and get it done ourselves. The voting thing for me. And, educate yourselves. There's so many different resources out there. We have so much other things to touch on within Glenville, Tatnall County. We're going to be, informing you guys on these different meetings. The Glenville City Council meeting was just the first step. There's still the Tatnall County Commissioners, the Tatnall County Board of Education. Like, there's just so much to juggle all at once, but we really have to hold ourselves accountable to inform ourselves about what's going on and like really let them hear our voices. And it takes for us to like go forth and do it. Like, we're going to talk about it, but we really need to go do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get active. And Miss Whitney, what do you have for us?
I guess to piggyback off what DeAndrea said, absolutely go vote. Let's not lose our momentum in the things that are happening locally in Glenville. It's going to take prayer. It's going to take paperwork. It's going to take patience. So, just stay on it. And then also, I just think that right now in the world, we are kind of losing sight of humanity. And I think that everybody is suffering from that. There is such a high rate of depression. So I think that before you judge somebody, make sure that you lend a helping hand. Make sure that we're doing whatever we can to try to bring back community, because if everybody does a little, then nobody has to do a lot.
Amen.
Good stuff. And Reverend Slick, did we get, you have any, what were they thinking?
But I do want to give out a little safety warning. It is Memorial Day weekend. This is the time when people have a high accident rate due to DUIs, just not paying attention, guys on that week. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that when you're out traveling, Georgia State Patrol has already put out a warning. They're going to be about 10 miles apart patrolling.
Rolling thunder. Make
sure you police yourself. Let's not be out here stomping because you got dragged out on I-20. So make sure that you abide by the rules, wear your seatbelt, no drinking and driving.
Good stuff. And then Edmund, what you got for us, bro?
Well, the only thing I would add is this: the runoff is in 3 weeks. So we're not going straight to November. There are some races where people did not get 50% plus one. So that's, I think, the lieutenant governor's race, the attorney general's race, the secretary of state's race. So there's still some more voting to do. And I think early voting should be starting pretty soon. And it will be sometime in June. I don't know the exact.
June 6th is when early voting starts.
June 6th is when we'll be voting again. So make sure you get back out there and vote because we still have some races to decide before November.
All right, good stuff. And Mike, the floor is yours, man. Leave us something good.
Man, I had to preach today, and the topic was, it is what it is, but it's not how it's always going to be. Some things we can't control, we can't change, but if we put in the work, have faith, hold on to hope, it won't always be this way. So y'all stay encouraged, stay blessed, and let's put in the work and stay engaged.
Got about 15 more years before we in the cotton field.
Jesus.
You might be in force, dude. Yeah, all love, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Corner Store. Stay tuned. We're also lining up special guests now that we have a consistent cast here. So I have reached out to some executives who are in influential positions that our young Black men and young women need to take a look at. And we're going to interview them and find out their background and tell others what they would do differently if they had to start over in the place of where others are. So stay tuned for that. Man, my last thing is they said it all. So wouldn't you have something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should let it be known that there is a Juneteenth program going on in Glenville the weekend of the 13th. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're looking for vendors and everything.
Yes.
Miss Joanne Anderson is the point of contact for that.
Okay, cool. We'll get that information out on the page as well. So stay tuned for more updates, announcements, and topics and educational stuff to be on the Corner Store page. So it seems like we're a point of contact for all things going on locally, but we don't only want to have it just local. We want it to be statewide and then nationwide and then international as well. So until next time, enjoy your snacks, your juice, and all your chips. Peace and love.
Bye.